Hey scholars, so last week we started our next unit of time, and I just want to quickly review about what we talked about last week and then start our new part about time. So last week we introduced our clock. So we talked about our minute hand, which is our long hand, and we talked about our hour hand. And last time we told time to the hour. So that was when our minute hand stayed still at the 12, and we had just our hour hand move to different numbers. So it would be 2 o'clock. Then we had our hour hand point to the 3 with our minute hand here, 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. So all we did was keep our minute hand staying at the 12, and we changed where our hour hand was for the hour. Today what we're going to talk about is talking about when our minute hand goes down to our 6. And notice when I move my minute hand, the hour hand is starting to move closer and closer to the next number. So here we're at 6 o'clock because my hour hand's at the 6, minute hand's at the 12, and then when we have time, our clock doesn't just stay still, it's moving. So our minute hand starts to move, and as my minute hand moves, my hour hand is going to start moving closer and closer to the next number for the next hour. And I want to talk about when our minute hand gets to our 6 and stops. When we get to the 6, that's when we call a half an hour, or we're talking about our 30 minutes. Because when we're talking about our minutes, we count by our 5s. We had 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So when we get to the 6, our minute's going to be 30. Now notice how our hour hand isn't right on a number. It's in between. So it's in between my 6 and my 7. So how do I choose which number to put for my hour? All you have to do is you see that it's past the 6 and think, did it get to the 7 yet? No, so I can't choose the 7, so it's still our 6. So our time here is 6:30. Because my hour hand has yet to get to our 7. So it's still 6:30 even though my hour hand's not on the 6. So we're going to practice a couple problems together with telling our time when our minute hand's on our 6, which means 30. So let's get started with some practice. So just to recap, we had our clock, and we're talking about when our minute hand's at the 6, which means our minutes will be 30. So instead of putting the 0, 0 like we did for when our minute hand was at the 12, now we're going to put 30 since our minute hand's now down at the 6. And my hour hand's going to slowly be away from a number. So when I drew my dotted lines, my hour hand's not pointing directly at one of these numbers. But again, I have to think, okay, so here's my 8. It's past my 8, but did it get to the 9 yet? No, it's not pointing to the 9 yet, so our number that we choose is our 8. So our time says 8, and then our minutes at the 30, so 30. So this clock is showing 8:30. So here we go with some practice. So remember we always look at our hour hand first. So my hour hand, I'm going to draw my lines to see where it's pointing, is between my 12 and my 1. So I need to think, did it get to my 1 yet? No, so my hour is going to be still 12 because it didn't reach the 1 yet. So it is 12. Again, I put my colon to separate my hour and minute. 12, and then when my minute hand's at the 6, we say it is what? Right, it's 30. Because when we count by our 5, we have 10, 15, 20, 25. My minute hand's down here at the 30. When we do minutes, we're counting by our 5. So this time says 12:30. Now we're moving to our next problem. So we look at our hour hand first. So I notice it's between my 2 and my 3. So did it get yet to my 3 down here? No, so I have to choose my number above, my 2. So our hour is 2. And then what do we put for when our minute's at the 6? Right, it's our 30. So this time says 2:30. 30. So we have one more practice. So for my hour hand, I notice it's in between my 7 and my 8. But did it get to my 8 yet? No, it's still with my 7. So my hour, I'm going to choose my first number, which is 7. And then when I get to my minute hand's now at the 6. So we're not doing our 0, 0 anymore. We're putting what for the minutes? Right, it's 30. Because again, we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. This is our 30. So this clock says 7:30. So today you're going to continue practicing doing your time for a half an hour. Good luck.